Hey, I want to talk a little bit more about glory and God's role in what he calls glory. And the New Testament says glory will be upon us. I just hit 500 subscribers on YouTube, and you might respond and go, "What, just 500?" To me, it's a big deal. I've been trying to chase some new tools that YouTube will give me to do a better job of this, and I hit 500. As a pastor, I used to worry about how many people are in mini church. How many people are we actually taking the word and discipling them at a local level with their friends, talking to each other about what I talked about on the weekend. As an author, I'm, always concerned about how many books are selling. And now as somebody putting stuff on YouTube, I worry about that. And it's a silly little thing. We're looking at our phones every day, checking our social media stuff, almost like kids counting birthday cards to see how many people like me. And, we live in an age of influencers, people trying to get fame. And so you got millions of people searching to be known online. You got kids acting out in classrooms because that somehow makes them cool or be funnier than other people. We find all these ways of curating our lives. I mean, people are actually curating their lives by their value on social media. And at first glance, it's just like shallow narcissism. But I think it's a little bit deeper than that. And C.S. Lewis, in his book, The Weight of Glory, which I'm slowly rereading and rereading it. I read a chapter and I go back and read it some more, and I'm marking the thing up. And like I said in the last video, when I was 20 something years old, I read the book and it made no sense to me at all. And now as an older person, I got a different perspective. And so in The Way of Glory, he talks about we're looking for fame, and we ought to be looking for fame, but the fame that we're looking for is fame with God. And the thing that we're longing for is to be known. I want to be known by other people. I've been living in San Diego for 8 years. I finally found community. This is a healthy thing, but a healthy thing can turn unhealthy. Love can turn to lust. Both of them are probably going to end up in the same place, but the one is healthy, the other is unhealthy. I can search for fame that's a healthy thing, but I can look for it in the wrong place. And the right place is fame with God, to be known by God, to know God and to be known by God, to be acknowledged and recognized by the Lord. And so every time that we're thinking about, I need to be seen, I want to be complete, I want people to say, I did a good job at something, that's a valuable thing for us. That's a real part of something that God put in us, but it's ultimately going to be satisfied by the one who knows us best. And the Bible says in Psalm 139 that you have searched me, that you know me, you know when I sit, you know when I rise, you know all of these things that I do. Then it goes on, it says something really incredible. It says that the Lord knew us before we were in our mother's womb, and that he created us with a plan for our life and a purpose for our life, and that he has always known us, and that he knows the words before we speak. This is really important to me when I think about the idea of fame. Well, I want fame with God. And I want God to know me, and I want ultimately to hear those words, well done, good and faithful servant. In fact, and this is where I think it gets a little sticky, you got to think this one through. I want to hear those words now. I don't want to hear those words, to me, not fame. I made 500 on YouTube. What's God think about that? Well, God probably thinks it's a good idea that I be faithful to produce the stuff that I'm producing, and that I hear in my heart of hearts, well done, good and faithful servant, as I'm plowing along. The 500 means nothing to God. The faithfulness means something to God. And so fame with God is the kind of fame that we ought to be searching for. And then the flip side of that is in Psalm 34, where it says that I'll bless the Lord at all times. I'll glory in the Lord. I'll make his name known. I want fame with the Lord, and I want to make the Lord famous, and I hope you do too. By the way, if this thing was helpful to you, you could be number 501 on my YouTube, and I still get a chance to reach more people. If you think this is worth listening to, well, then it's probably worth subscribing to. Thanks.